This boat still looks the business.
It's stood the test of time so far.
Yeah. Slack water is about now.
Brilliant.
Perfect. So I think if we leave here, the tide's going to start going west. Yeah. So we'll aim for there.
Yeah.
But we'll actually drift that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what we hope to do is not be in there, because that's where it gets a bit wild.
Okay. So we want to try and land here and then hug the coast. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that. Though if we drift into there, then great.
Just not here. Yeah, but I'll let you get in first. I remember last time.
Okay.
Here and go back to the concrete.
Yes. Well, luckily there's no swell or anything to worry us.
I know.
It's good.
All right.
Yeah. We're good. Oh, super.
It's quite funny, like today's pretty good conditions and it's not a challenge, but I mean, it's still lumpy enough.
It's lumpy enough, and we're just watching those, and
oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny coming out here in anything less than good day.
Oh, it's horrible out here on a bad day. Yeah. Suddenly the water's changed. That's us across Slonamara.
Look over there.
Yeah.
Is that you want me to avoid?
Yeah, we don't want there either. But we're
Really too far away from it.
Oh, we're good. That's far enough. We'll avoid it. But we've got through Slonamara, and we've got through before it gets nasty. So
Slonamara means what?
Something like that. I don't have enough Irish to know what Slonamara means.
Sounds nice anyway.
Sounds nice. What it means is don't take a wee boat in here during the peak tide, unless you enjoy swimming. Okay, let's have a wee talk about what's happening here, because I had this lovely trip plan, had a course to steer, it worked out, and when you get out there on the water, it's never quite what you expected. And I want to emphasize that this is dynamic route planning. In no way was this making it up as you go along. Let me show you. So we'd set off here from Ballycastle. Yep, there's Ballycastle, hello Ballycastle. And we were doing reasonably well at heading up north, even though the boat was actually pointed that way. And we had quite a nice time clipping the edge of those overfalls, and we were feeling very smug, or I was. And you know what happens? What comes before a fall? We were watching the overfalls over there. Angus was saying, are they getting a bit close? I was thinking, nah, we're all right, we're all right. We paddled on, and actually we were drifting more and more west. Those were getting closer. So I had to make a sudden decision that what was really required was a rapid retreat, turn to starboard, or right as most of us know it. We headed into Rue Point here, had a look at the lighthouse, and then came up into Ushett Point to have a look at the seals. What you can't see on the video is we were also watching more overfalls start to develop here, and we were happily sitting in the nice calm water. Yeah.
Exactly, look, it looks nice.
Yeah, so that's blue light.
There's two seals.
There's a couple of seals popping up, yep. Yeah, so that's Ushett,
Yeah.
which was the very first harbour on Rathlin in there. Once we'd seen the seals there at Ushett Point, we were able to come back past the light at Rue Point. We paddled under the cliffs in nice sheltered calm water and headed into Church Bay. And when we set off, it was sunny and it was warm. I was dressed in a relatively light paddle top. When we got into Church Bay, I was cold, I was starting to shiver. So I'm afraid there's no video, and it was just me getting something hot to eat, upgrading into a warm paddle jacket so that I was ready to tackle the next stage of the journey. So there we go, that's Church Bay.
Yeah, it's nice enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody's here.
Yeah. Smile. Prove that we made it over to Rathlin. And then once I'd warmed up, had something to eat, we were able to leave Church Bay, came along heading towards Rathlin West, also known as Bull Point. We were sitting out a little bit because there was a counter eddy in there and we were hoping to get a little bit more of the main flow out here. And out near Bull Point we were able to see the puffins and the razorbills and just fantastic bird life around here where there's a big RSPB nature reserve. We'll head out of Church Bay. Obviously avoid the ferry. We'll head down to Westlight. Stick tight to the left here just in case the ferry appears.
We're good.
There, we're good. Yep. We'll go right across then. Yeah, so that yellow buoy marks the HMS Drake. That was a First World War ship that hit a mine. Yeah. And she was torpedoed.
Hit a mine there?
No, she hit a mine out west of Rathlin. And
To commemorate it?
yeah, she was holed, and the captain thought he might be able to go slowly and get into Belfast for repairs. But when they got to Rathlin, he realised that the ship was sinking. So he tried to make it into Church Bay here, and he thought he could run the ship up on the beach and ground her. But actually she went down where that marker buoy is.
Right. And did they survive?
Some did, some drowned. There was an islander called Tommy Cecil who was a fantastic diver. He actually pioneered a lot of the diving on trimix to get on the helium mixes.
Yeah. He was from here?
To get, yes, he was from here, I'm a chap called Norman Woods. Dived some of the very deep wrecks.
One around Rathlin.
Yeah. Sadly, Tommy died during a dive.
You're going deep, diving.
Yeah. And Richard Branson, he did a balloon trip across the Atlantic. Okay, David, I'm going to have to stop you there. I mean, you're doing your best and you struggle your way through the story about the Drake. The truth about Richard Branson and his hot air balloon, the Virgin Flyer, is that in 1987 he crossed the Atlantic from America to Ireland, and they touched down in Limavady in Northern Ireland. I've no idea why, but then they were up in the air again. They ended up 3 miles off Rathlin when they ditched in the sea. Tommy Cecil didn't know that a rescue was arranged, so he charged out in a fast boat to rescue them. And Richard Branson was grateful. He gave money for an inshore lifeboat and he donated money for a community centre on the island. Yep, definitely a pair of puffins. Woohoo!
I don't think I've ever seen puffins in the flesh before, you know.
There they go. Yeah.
We could turn around.
Yeah. Well, we can say we've made it all the way to Rathlin West. I think we might be in an eddy because we're going backwards at 1.5 knots.
I noticed that.
Once we'd seen the birds, the idea was that we classically would have used that eddy to head back into Church Bay and wait for slack water before going back to Ballycastle. But we were on neap tides. The conditions looked really fairly benign, so we decided, since we had to go back east as well as head south, we would just go across the tide and take ourselves back in as direct a line as we could. And that was working well until we were out in the middle of the Sound. And as you can see, we were having to work hard. We're paddling a lot on one side of the boat. And Angus, who owns the boat and who would usually sit in the rear, realised we got the trim badly wrong. He's heavier than me. So with light me in the back, the back end was being pushed round by the wind. It was constantly weathercocking, pointing up into the wind. We were having a very, very hard time keeping on course. But there wasn't much we could do except push on and accept that our course was getting a little bit more like that. And eventually we were able to pull ourselves round and complete the trip and get back to Ballycastle.
It feels good.
Yeah, it feels good. We're sort of level with Roo Point. We're well into the Sound now. Ballycastle's about...
Expecting this.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a pretty good trip, you know.
Yeah, it's great.
To remember and do again, maybe.
Oh, definitely. So about 5.5 nautical miles back into Ballycastle. Still a bit of work to do. Yeah. Yeah. There's Port Legree. That's the Ballycastle Druntum.
That's the Ballycastle what?
That's a Druntum.
A Druntum.
Yeah, replica of 19th century fishing boat.